importe qui tu es, peu importe d'où tu viens, nous passons tous par les mêmes étapes. Décision. Travail. Concentration. Objectif. Peu importe ce qui se passe, reste concentré. Dans la difficulté, ne lâche rien. Crois en toi et crois en ce que tu peux accomplir. Ne te décourage pas. Il y a toujours moyen de réussir. Il y a toujours une solution. Tu peux le faire. Tu peux atteindre ta cible. Il n'y a pas de raccourci. Juste la volonté, le travail et un peu d'aide. 9 mm. Atteins ta cible.
The second meeting of the season for the European Endurance Prototype Cup starts with qualifying. We're going to have 3 15-minute sessions in order to determine the grid. It will be the average times from the 3 sessions that determine the starting order for tomorrow's 6-hour endurance races. The jewel in the crown of the European Endurance Prototype Cup season, in a sense. Longest race of the year to come tomorrow, and our first ever visit to the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve in south of Portugal, in Portimão. An absolutely splendid circuit, and of course a number of these teams and drivers will be familiar with the circuit, having raced here in the Le Mans Cup, but for the Ultimate Cup Series, a first visit to this magnificent circuit, the roller coaster circuit as it's nicknamed. We will be in for a great weekend of action. A record entry list as well. 32 cars joining us on the grid. A mixture of LMP3 machinery from Ligier, Ginetta and Duqueine, as well as the Nova NP02 cars as well, running in a separate category. But so far this weekend, it has all been about the DKR Engineering number 33 LMP3 Duqueine entry of John Brownson, Yi Pengcheng, Benjamin Rouget and Lawrence Hoare that has dominated proceedings in the 2 free practice sessions so far, setting the best time of the weekend of 1:37.718. But of course, even in qualifying, it's not about being the ultimately fastest. It is the average of the 3 that will set the grid. Let's look at the number 88 Virage LMP3 car that will go into this weekend leading the LMP3 standings after victory at the opening round in the Castellet, as Rafael Narak, Jacek Zelonka and Daniel Macia aboard that Ligier. And it was 3rd overall for them in the Castellet. Weekend with good speed, and looking forward to seeing where they end up. So just looking to see who's at the wheel of the 88 car at the moment, because the 3 drivers in that car all new to LMP3 racing, and it is their bronze driver Jacek Zelonka, the 43-year-old Polish driver who's joining us from the world of radical racing, particularly in the UK, aboard that number 88 machine at the moment. But both, Rafael and Daniel in their first year of LMP3 competition. Rafael and Daniel joining from the single-seater scene with young guns. Rafael's 18 years old, Daniel 22. As we mentioned, it's the DKR Engineering car that has dominated proceedings, and unsurprisingly, with a driver like Lawrence Hoare on board, who has accomplished so much in LMP3 competition, all with the DKR team as well. Le Mans Cup champion in 2019 and 2020, of course, and then the European Le Mans Series LMP3 championship in the following year as well. And regular viewers of the Ultimate Cup might remember Lorenzo from the Monoplace Championship back in 2017. He was vice champion there in that year. There we see one of the Ginettas trying to move up against one of the Novas. And that looks like the number 62 entry from CMR, the Ginetta G61, which is sort of the works outfit as Ginetta looks to develop their platform for the next generation of LMP3 machinery, which is due to arrive next year, along with the arrival of the new engine for next year, replacing the current Nissan 5.6 litre V8. So we will be enjoying the sound of that VK56 while we still can. And the Nova he was rounding up was the DB Autosport car, number 20 machine, which is Christophe Brenier, the silver-rated driver. But as it stands, it is Virage on top, but it is the number 1 car as it stands. Georgios Kolovos, their bronze driver, who is currently fastest, but is usurped very quickly by the number 35 BHK Motorsport, Sergio Campana, in their Duqueine. Seems to be a one-off entry for BHK, the British team. So there we see the Virage number 1 car that is now 3rd fastest as Vincent Capilliere in the 57 Ligier from Reiter Engineering. Puts itself 2nd fastest within half a second of Campana's benchmark time of a 1:39.963. Quite a bit of pace to find. The lap record here for LMP3 set by Matt Bell back in 2020 at the Le Mans Cup round aboard the Cool Racing Ligier, which is a 1:36.881, although that was of course set in a race. So we've had 2 more drivers go to the top of the times. First of all, Sen Fielding, and then Bernardo Pinheiro on a 36.5 now leading the way in the number 26 Breton Racing car. They are joining us this weekend also with Marius Fossard and Manuel Espirito Santo are on the entry list, but actually Bernardo Pinheiro was not on the entry list, so we will have to double check that one. Of course, not every entry has 3 drivers. Some have 2 and some have 4 as well, but it's 3 drivers that will have to do qualifying. If you've got 2 drivers, then they need to do a second session, but they can't do back-to-back sessions. And if you have a bronze driver, then it must be the bronze driver that does 2 sessions. So, currently fastest of the MP02 runners is Thomas Imborg in the number 5 CD Sport Nova, which is 4th fastest overall. The 21-year-old Frenchman in his first year of car racing, but has made a one-off appearance with CD Sport at the Paul Ricard finale at the end of last year, finishing 5th in his class. Then of course was with us for the season opener in the Castellet. But here is the provisional pole sitter at number 35, Sergio Campana, very briefly. So in addition to the different class of cars, we also have an additional Ultimate Cup class for cars running all-bronze lineups, and that includes the number 61 MG Sound Studio Ginetta, the ANS Motorsport number 73 Nova of Rodolfo Rosati and Frederic Croulet, and then also the 555 Kokomo Racing Nova, Sebastian Morales, Philippe Thirion and Denis Calon. We're 4 minutes away from the checkered flag in this session, and so far it is still Sergio Campana by 0.2 of a second to Bernardo Pinheiro, and then Senan Fielding in the 62, and they get the works quote-unquote Ginetta that we were alluding to earlier. He is joining Mike Simpson and Andrew Bentley aboard that car. The two Tomlinsons, Lawrence Tomlinson, the CEO, and his son Freddie in that car in the Castellet. Slightly different lineup, but Senan Fielding joining them for this one. Of course, very familiar name to anyone in the UK racing scene, the British GT4 champion from 2022. Now, problem there, that looks to be our provisional pole sitter, Sergio Campana, in the BHK Motorsport car that now is that on the exit of turn 14, right before the final corner. It is indeed. So some sort of problem there. Yellow flags out at turn 14. But Campana gets it going again. Now, was he on a push lap there, or is that more of a technical problem? We'll see. Neguti competition here, the 9.9 car. It's Stéphane Ortelli at the wheel of that car, and he is 9th fastest at the moment, is the gold-rated driver. And of course, Le Mans winner from 1998, also a former FIA GT champion. And here, hopefully, we're going to see what happened. So it was a spin for Sergio Campana. Out of turn 14, lighting up those rear tyres. So less than 2 minutes left to go on the corner, and we can see the fantastic livery of the number 26 Breton Racing car. In comes Senan Fielding. Plenty of bare carbon on that car, but yeah, Ginetta making the developments on their car and the preparations for the next generation of LMP3 machinery. Stéphane Ortelli going fastest in the middle sector, in addition to a personal best in the first sector as well. So that Neguti competition car is on a good lap, and the Neguti team, it's a family-run team, and it's practically a skeleton crew for the number 99 team. The 54-year-old Monegasque setting good pace and moving himself up to 4th fastest in the end. Didn't improve in the final sector, but to within half a second at the moment. It's half a second covering the top 5 cars: Sergio Campana, Bernardo Pinheiro, Thomas Imborg, Stéphane Ortelli and Senan Fielding. And getting messages up on my timing screen reminding drivers that track limits must be respected, or we have track limit deletions, because that has been a very hot topic. It's turns 1, 4, 5, 7 and 8 as well, and then definitely at turns 14 and 15 as well, where the track limits are being rather heavily monitored. If you cut the track at turn 15, or if you go wide at turn 15, you don't only get that lap deleted, you get the next lap deleted as well, because you're deemed to have gained extra momentum down the start-finish straight. Checkered flag is out, and it looks like it will be Sergio Campana for BHK Motorsport aboard their Duqueine that will be fastest in Q1. And then of the MPO2 runners, Thomas Imborg in the number 5 CD Sports car, the 21-year-old Frenchman. Only just ahead of Stéphane Ortelli for class position there. Remember, it's the number 9 crew that are leading the championship going into this weekend. It was a 1-2 for Graf last time out, the number 9 finishing 10th fastest with Eric Trullier at the wheel. And there's Ortelli. He will hand over that 99 car now to Alban Naguti, the silver rated driver. Of course, worth remembering as well that these drivers will end up taking additional penalties at each of the pit stops for anyone that doesn't have an all-bronze lineup. Q2 getting underway shortly. We can see the driver changes down at MV2S. In comes the number 27. That's Christophe Cresp, 19th fastest in that Q1 session. That's the number 27. Asian Le Mans Series LMP3 champion from a couple of years ago. He'll be handing over the car to Pierre-Alexandre Provost, the young Frenchman who's competing in Formula Regional European Championship last year, having come up from French F4. But this is what I mean by the order you have to run your drivers in qualifying, because Christophe Cresp is bronze and Pierre-Alexandre Provost is silver. And they're the two drivers in the car, so that means they have to run Christophe Cresp as the bronze first, because drivers can't do sessions back to back. And if you've only got two drivers, the bronze driver must do 2 of these sessions. So, getting ready to go for the second of the 15-minute sessions that will help set the grid. And a reminder of the overall standings then after what happened in the Castellet. It was a 1-2 finish for Graf, with the number 9 Nova of Eric Trullier, Louis San Juan and David Drew leading the number 8 crew of Floris Kuipers, Louis Rossi and Jan Zimmer. And then the 88 Team Virage car completing the overall podium and taking the LMP3 victory as well as Rafael Narak, Jacek Zalonka and Daniel Macier in 3rd position in the championship. As we have the green flag out for Q2, and it's the number 71 ANS Motorsports car that leads the field out of the pit lane. That's Mark Fagianato at the wheel of the car for this session. The 65-year-old Monegasque. They put their bronze driver in for the second session. The reigning MP02 Ultimate class champion for all bronze drivers. Didn't just win the first two races in his class last year. Also took an overall win at Magny-Cours with Aiko Segret. Karen Gaillard aboard that car as well. The 22-year-old Swiss. Should be out the next session. Now there's a hint of rainbow on the front of one of those cars. Didn't quite see the number on it, but what a lovely touch that is. A few drivers of note in. This one we have some additional entries. Graf normally running 3 of their Novas, but they also have an additional Ligier GSP 320 as well, which includes Havo Luo preparing for his second Road to Le Mans appearance with Graf, as he did last year, but also Samir Ben, who is competing in Le Mans Cup this year as well, but also our reigning European Prototype Endurance champion George King, making his appearance with the Graf team, having won the title with Virage and teammates with Manuel Espirito Santo, who will be aboard the Breton Racing Ligier as well. Drivers of note. As well, including Lawrence Hoare, who we were talking about earlier. Struggle to find anyone quicker in an LMP3 car at the moment, such as his success with the DKR team. Additional entry from CD Sport this weekend as well, which is their number 11 car with Frank Chapard, Chris Short and William Gosselin as well. The 24 car as well, TS Course car, that has Ayrton Simmons alongside Nathan Kumar, their regular driver, and Gianluca Giraldi as well. That was quite a late addition to the entry list. We also have an additional car from ANS as well. Nicolas Schatz replacing Paul Trajani aboard the number 84 car alongside Julien Lemoine. So 10 minutes left in this Q2 session. Currently fastest, Ralph Kellners on a 1:48.76 in the number 10. Racing Spirit of Le Mans Ligier. That's again an additional entry. Racing Spirit of Le Mans running Nova as well, but this car additional for this weekend. Of course, Ralph Kellners, German driver with 9 Le Mans 24-hour appearances to his name and a class winner back in 1996 as well. Comes from a very rich heritage of racing. His father, Helmut, a winner of the 24 Hours of Spa and the 24 Hours of Nürburgring as well. Was racing with Racing Spirit of Le Mans in Le Mans Cup last year. How many times you can say Le Mans in one sentence? But of course, the Racing Spirit of Le Mans actually refers to the Le Mans in Switzerland. It's the Swiss entry. It's L-E-M-A-N, all one word rather than Le Mans. going second fastest and setting 2 purple sectors is Jonathan Thomas in the number 5 CD sports cars, and that was the fastest car of the Novas in Q1. The South African racer who is flying along nicely. And Schatz, fastest in the first sector as well, with the 84 ANS Motorsport Ligier. Hasn't improved in the middle sector, but that's we were just talking about there. Nicolas Schatz, the ANS team boss, standing in for Paul Giugiani this weekend. So it's still the reigning Ligier European Series Gestois champion Julien Lemoine alongside him in that number 84 machine. As Sasha Lehmann now in the number 1 Team Virage car goes fastest, the 22-year-old Frenchman, who's now off has gone the Inter-Europol competition car, the number 34, and that is Niels Koelen at the wheel of that Ligier at the moment, and he's gone off on what looks like the exit of turn number 11. And we have a red flag out because it doesn't look like Niels Koelen is going anywhere, the 22-year-old Dutchman. So the red flags are being waved here in Q2 with 7 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock, because that Inter-Europol competition Ligier does look to be rather jammed in its position. The Dutchman, not new to LMP racing, having made his LMP2 debut this year, but I think new to LMP3 competition, and certainly still a rookie in terms of prototype racing, having really only moved over from single-seaters this year. But his father, the Rally Raid driver Kees Koelen, and looks like he's tried to emulate his father there by going on the grass, but that's not the best thing to do in an LMP3 car. So we will wait for the marshals to recover that car.
Well, I'm down here at Ginetta with Senan Fielding, and a face that I know very well from various championships. Lovely to see you. Welcome to this championship. It's nice to see. It was tricky out there for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit of like test and development weekend so far. So we've been like making lots of changes while we've been here, but it's Andrew and Mike, they're going to do a great job in qualifying, and it's a 6-hour race, so anything can happen. We know we've got to make a few more changes to try and get the car in the window. We tried something for qualifying, but it didn't quite work, so a little bit frustrated. I've had my little moment where I've had a breather and I've come back, so and now Andrew's in the car, so we'll see how he gets on.
You did a proper racing driver thing, which is come straight through your garage and go straight to the back, because you wanted to have conversations about some changes, obviously, for such a long race that we've got tomorrow at Portimão. It's a cool track, though, isn't it? I mean, the undulation out there is something else.
Yeah, this circuit, I think it's always been one of my favourite circuits. It's got so much character. It's very technical, but you need a car that you've got a lot of confidence with. So that's why I was like, straight away, if we can make a few changes for Andrew and Mike, just to try and give them as much confidence to push forwards. So yeah, I feel a bit like mixed emotions right now, but we'll be good.
There's a long way to go. We haven't ended yet. We haven't even started the race yet. There's still plenty to go. For yourself, for qualifying, obviously your session is over now. To work out who's on pole is a mix of all of your best times put together. It's a lot of maths, and I'm not going to be doing that, so I'll leave that to Chris up in the commentary box. Sorry, Chris. How confident are you to be leading your class?
For us, we just want to be in the top few mix. We've been trying to set up a good race car, so you can have an outright quick car, but then if the degradation's really high and everything else, over 6 hours, you're not going to be doing a great job. So we're just trying to get a nice consistent car that gets all the way through, and hopefully that brings us out on one of the top steps at the end of the race.
What's the longest race that you've done?
6 hours, actually.
Okay, and how was it?
It was good. We actually, it was with Ginetta back in 2017. So, and then thankfully I've been given the opportunity to race with them this weekend. So it's like the first time back, and then first time in this championship, which has been amazing so far. I think the quality out there's some like big names, big drivers, big teams all coming in. And it's nice because there's a big grid. So I think there's a battle for everyone out on field.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. Has it felt like you've come back to your family then with Ginetta? 2017 feels like a long time ago.
I know, tell me about it. No, I've always stayed in touch, and I do a lot of work with like different teams into the Ginetta family. So yeah, it's nice to be racing with Mike and Andrew Bentley. So it's really good. I just want to get a good result. All I want to do is win. So.
Well, fingers crossed. I feel like you've got some data to go look at. Yeah. You're getting, you can feel with the racing drivers like, I want to go look at the timing screen now. Thank you so much. So lovely to see you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Good luck for the rest of the weekend. I'm sure we'll speak to you again. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Claire. And it is currently Andrew Bentley at the wheel of the number 62 car, but Senan Fielding made his LMP3 debut this year in Le Mans Cup with Stella Motorsport. So building on that experience. We wait for that Inter-Europol car to be recovered.
Press the wrong button.
Probably just me.
No.
And we do have the green flag back now for the remaining 7.5 minutes of this Q2 session. Currently, it is a Mirage 1-2 with car number 1 of Sasha Lehmann leading Rafael Narak in 88. Okay. And then the number 10 Racing Spirit of Le Mans Ligier of Ralph Kelleners. And then comes the Nova class pole sitter of Jonathan Thomas, the number 5 CV Sports car, and that car has been fastest in the 2 sessions so far, provisionally anyway, of the Nova runners. But we will see what happens in the remaining 7 minutes of this. So listening to the Ginetta fire up there. Absolutely fantastic. And the Ginetta does have a slightly different exhaust configuration to the Ligier, where it has the side exhaust on that car rather than the rear exhaust on the Ligier, which does give it a bit of a throatier sound. It also feels louder when it comes past you as well down the straight, so that will make it very popular. Actually, that rather throaty sound.
He's a sound man.
Can actually restart the session, which it cannot because it has brought out a red flag. So Niels Coulen will take no further part in this Q2 session. That will dent the hopes of the Inter-Europol competition team. So 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Team Virage 1-2, separated by 74 thousandths of a second, are Sasha Lehmann and Raphael Narak. Fastest in the first sector has gone Pierre-Alexandre Provost in the number 27 MV2S Nova. That's the silver driver who took over from Christophe Cresp in the previous session, from a French F4 racer. Race winner in that championship. This is the DKR car, the 33. Benjamin Rouget in that car at the moment. The 37-year-old Frenchman. Most recently racing in Asia, in not only Porsche Carrera Cup, but also Super Trofeo Asia as well. But before that, spent a lot of time racing in France, in French GT and Carrera Cup. And now we've got two Novas racing wheel to wheel there. That was the number 5 CD Sport car making its way past the one of the ANS cars, the 72. And now that we have a red flag again. Another red flag, because we had yellow flags out at turn 13, which is at the top of the hill, just before where we saw the DKR car pull off earlier in Q1, but yet to see why exactly we have the red flags out at the moment. But they are indeed out, a second stoppage, and just as people were getting going again as well. But it didn't come. Oh, hello, it's one of the Ginettas by the looks of it, and I can't quite make out the top of the number, but maybe the 35 potentially. That could well be car number 35. We'll see if there's any indication on the timing screen as to a car that has stopped. If it is, it'd be Francesco Giacone at the wheel of that car, but unfortunately the crest of that hill is just covering up the important part of the car number there. But I would go out on a limb and say that was the 35. And now we can see a replay of it, and it's contact with one of the Novas, and I do think that is Francesco Giacone, the BHK Motorsports team boss, that has spun his own car around after contact with one of the Novas, and now he gets it going again. And yes, definitely the number 35 there. So Francesco Giacone, and of course he will now take no further part in this session either, similar to Niels Koolen, because he's brought out a red flag. So we've lost 2 from this Q2 session, and we only have 3 minutes left on the clock, so it is going to be a last lap shootout. What I was going to say before we saw the reason for the red flag was that the red flag came out very quickly, but not quick enough to stop Pierre-Alexandre Provost going to the top of the times in that number 27 MV2S racing car. So the Frenchman has put it ahead of the 2 Team Virage cars, put the Nova overall fastest in this Q2 session by a quarter of a second with a 1:39.097. Oh, now we've got some smoke coming out of one of the cars queuing at the end of pit lane there. Maybe Claire can go and see what's happening down at the end of pit lane, because one of those cars has suddenly started billowing out smoke, and from this angle can't quite make out which one it is. Now you see they've taken the hood off the back, and so I would assume it's one of the Novas, because that looks to be the setup, the sort of lift-off hood on the back of that car. Of course, there was a lot of talk about the engine covers on the Novas in Paul Ricard, where we saw the bodywork just simply flying off the cars down the middle of the back straight. that was due to the fixings of the bodywork itself, I'm told. Which is certainly now under review. But the whole back of that car has now come off. The only problem is there's a queue of cars in front of them as well, so I can't actually see which one it is that has... now, an update here. That time from Pierre-Alexandre Provost has been deleted. So it's Sasha Lehmann back at the top of the times by 0.4 of a second. And actually he had just done 2 fastest first sectors as well. Now it's car number 2, the Graf Racing car. Now we can see it on the pictures as well. The number 2 Graf Racing car of Samir Ben, the 20-year-old Swiss racer, that has had a bit of a drama down there. The whole back of the car's come off, and it looks like the extinguishers have had to be used there as well. So whether it was smoke billowing from the engine or fire smoke, and then that then needed to be put out. We'll hopefully get confirmation of that later on. But yeah, dramatic moment there for Ben Samir. That's the car that is also being driven by George King, our reigning champion. Moving over from Team Virage. Wasn't with us in Le Castellet, but we're back green racing once again, or qualifying I should say, and the TS Corsa car leads them out of the field, the number 24 machine. Gianluca Giraldi currently driving. And so now the interesting thing is that Sasha Lehmann had done 2 fastest sectors there. Can he reproduce them? That's the question. 2 and a bit minutes left on the clock in this Q2 session that has been rather heavily delayed as a result of 2 red flags. First of all, for the 34 into Europol competition, and Niels Kuhlen going for a spin out of turn 11, and then for the number 35 Francesco Duqueine BHK Motorsport car making contact with one of the Novas at turn 13 and leading some intervention there. Though he did get back going under his own steam, but as a result, neither of those cars can take any further part in this qualifying session. So 90 seconds left on the clock. Team Virage 1 and 2 as it stands. And we're building up to what is effectively a one-lap shootout. As cars making their way to start their final flying laps of this session. Stefan Naguti in 99. Naguti competition car. And the Nova making its way around turn 3. Rising up the hill. You can see exactly why everyone loves driving on this circuit when it's such a roller coaster of a circuit. It does provide a great look and a great feel behind the wheel as well. In fact, one driver in the GT Sprint Series told me it was now his favourite circuit over Spa, which is a bold statement, indeed. The number 12 CMR Ginetta, that is the Nicolas Prost, Fabio Michel and Guinal Delamere driven car. checkered flag now out, and fastest in the first sector has gone Jonathan Thomas in the number 5 CD Sport car, or fast in the middle sector, I should go, but now he's been beaten by Pierre-Alexandre Provost. Got a drama here for one of the Kokomo racing cars, the 555, getting up against one of the DB Autosport Novas. So that was a big lock up there for Philippe Thiron. But we'll see what can happen with Nicolas Schatz. Has split the 2 Team Virage cars with a purple first sector and 2 personal bests in the other 2 sectors as well, aboard the number 84 ANS Motorsport Ligier. So he's got second fastest. The best middle sector time for Pierre-Alexandre Provost, not turning into anything. It was a personal best, but not a good improvement. Not an improvement at all, sorry, in the middle final sector. And so he ends up only 7th fastest. And now demoted to 8th as Frank Chapard improves up to 6th position. And it doesn't look like Sasha Lehmann is going to be improving on this lap either, as he's not doing personal best in either of the first 2 sectors. So it will be Virage fastest. By the looks of it, he's just gone across the timing line. Now, interestingly, there is the 35 car that has rejoined, Francesco Giacone, that has rejoined the session. Potentially, because that car got going again under its own steam. It looks like Claire's found someone for us.
Yeah, come down to car number 2, Ben Smear. You were in a car that was a bit hot a minute ago. Just talk us through what happened. You were lining up, waiting to go out for this part of qualifying, and suddenly we saw lots of smoke. Yes, so I was coming in first gear, pressing the clutch, turning off the car, and while I was turning it off, there was like a boom, just a loud noise, and then I was sitting inside, something started to smell bad, so I watched to the left, and there was a bit of smoke. So yeah, I was jumping out of the car as fast as I could, because you never know what can happen. So yeah, I'm glad it was only a small fire and not something bigger. Yeah. But it is concerning, however, because that car's got to last for 6 hours tomorrow. Is it going to be okay to kind of go round for tomorrow? Do you know what the root cause is at this point? Well, tomorrow is getting even a bit more warmer, and we saw last year that a lot of cars were burning in Hockenheim, for example. So yeah, we just hope that everything is going fine tomorrow. It's bad luck, obviously, today. How are you feeling about the race tomorrow? Obviously, qualifying's being compromised. I think we would have a good pace. We just have to see that we get through the race, through the start and everything. So yeah, I guess we have good chances to be at the front. Yeah. There's 6 hours, so there's always a chance. Thank you so much. Bad luck today. Fingers crossed that you can get that fixed and good for tomorrow. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Claire. We are about to get underway for the 3rd and final part of this qualifying session. And a reminder, it's the average of the 3 lap times that will determine the starting order for tomorrow's 6-hour encounter. So we've already got the queue lining up at the end of the pit lane. Great to hear from Samir Ben there. And get an update. It seems like the heat really is playing quite a pivotal role in this weekend, because not only is it affecting the track conditions, as we have the green flag for Q3, but also it's causing some issues on the running of these cars. It gets very hot inside the cars as well, of course, and I'm sure the drivers will be taking on plenty of fluids to combat that as much as possible. see. Fresh set of Michelin boots going aboard the number 9 Graf Racing car. That is second in the championship, of course. And, I mean, it was a close call for the sister car, the number 8 in Paul Ricard, because Daniel Macier was having to cruise like it was driving a Bentley down the A1 at midnight, because it was a lap short on fuel, and so they were trying to reduce the race distance by slowing down. Luckily, they were able to control the race in such a manner because they were 1 and 2. They had one more lap and they wouldn't have made the finish. Hopefully no such dramas for them this weekend, though. As we see also new Michelins going on the Virage number 1 car. So that'll be Axel Noss, the Swiss-French 21-year-old based in Barcelona. He's raced with a couple of teams so far this year. With Team Virage here in the Ultimate Cup, but also with Breton in the first meeting of the Le Mans Cup this year, and also with Graf in the second meeting of Le Mans Cup this year. So Axel Noss picking up quite a bit of experience amongst the various teams. And now we do have some big names out in this session, because we have Laurent Hort at the wheel of that 33 DKR car. Immediately lighting up the timing screen with a purple first sector on his first flying lap. Everything that Laurent Hort has achieved, he's done it with the DKR team. His titles in Le Mans Cup and in the European Le Mans Series. Of course, since then there's also raced at Daytona, finished on the podium in the LMP3 category there in 2021. Competed at the Le Mans 24 Hours as well. And there is the number 33 DKR car, Laurent Hort, that we can look at the moment, who is about to set the benchmark time by the looks of it, fastest in the first 2 sectors, and it'll be the first lap time across the line, and it's a 39.525. So not the fastest time we've seen. That's still Sergio Campana, I think, with a 39.3. So we saw the CMR Ginetta with the number 12 in pit lane there, being pushed along like it needed a bump start. The number 12, but has got going eventually. Nicolas Prost taking the wheel for this final session. Also in this session we have Ayrton Simmons as well in the 24 TS Course car. Again, very familiar name to British motorsport fans. Matthias Besch as well in the number 21 DB Autosport car. He's joining the father-son pairing of Daniel and Quentin Basora. But just for this weekend, it was just the Basoras in the car in Le Castellet. As Maximus Meyer has gone fast, has beaten Laurent Hort's time, as has Mike Simpson actually. So we have a Nova fastest at the moment of Maximus Meyer in the 28 MV2S Racing Nova. Silver class driver, Mike Simpson, the former Ginetta Works driver, going second fastest. Now Ayrton Simmons to the top of the times on a 38.924. So we're definitely getting the fastest times now that we've seen all weekend. Or in qualifying, I should say. Benchmark time from free practice 2 was a 37.7 from the DKR Duqueine. It's the TS course Duqueine that's on top, followed by a field of Novas, Maximus Meyer, and then Ian Aguilera in the CD Sport car, and then Thomas Einborg in the sister number 5 CD Sport car. But now splitting them once again as David Drew in number 9 from Graf Racing goes fastest. The car second in the championship, going to the top of the times, and not sending any purple final sectors, but going fastest overall by nearly 0.3 of a second to Ayrton Simmons. 8 minutes left on the clock, so coming up to half race, half session distance. There is Ian Aguilera there, that yellow and red CD Sports car. CD Sport also represented with the Ligier as well, in addition to 3 Novas. So there is the lead one at the moment. Axel Noss there leading the Inter-Europol competition car down the back straight. As once again Lawrence Hoare going to the top of the times on a 1:38.397. And Sergio Campana now moving into second place. So it's Duquesne's 1 and 2, Nova 3, Duqueine 4. The top Ligier at the moment is down in 12th position. Now, that's not something you're used to seeing in prototype competition that is of LMP3 nature. Because the top Ginetta as well is the 62 from CMR, and that's 8th fastest. And everything else in between is Novas. So unusual to see the Ligiers so down there. And right as I say that, Manuel Espirito Santos 1:38.249 goes the 10.5 clear of Lawrence Hoare and puts the 26 Breton Racing entry at the top of the times. Yeah, James Winslow there in the number 11. CD Sports. Sorry, in the number 7 CD Sport entry, I should say. About 5 minutes left on the clock in this session. There is James Winslow making his way down into the first corner, currently 11th fastest in the Graf Racing Nova. And the Guti competition car once again. Stéphane Ortelli back at the wheel of that car, currently 19th fastest. That goes up to 15th after that latest effort. There is the Breton racing car, Emmanuel Espirito Santo, that is currently fastest on 1:38.249. Oh, but locking up, going through turn 3 though. But a tenth and a half clear of Lawrence Hoare. Of course, Manuel Espirito Santo, teammates with George King, winning the championship last year with Virage. So now they have become rivals on track, essentially, running in separate teams now. Yeah, fascinating to see how that will unfold across the 6 hours tomorrow. This lap not currently an improvement for Espirito Santo. As he makes his way through the final corner. Downhill like a old-fashioned roller coaster. Drives his way up towards the timing line, but doesn't look like this lap will be an improvement. Fastest in the final sector in the end there. So did manage to drag something out of that lap, but was still a tenth and a half away from his personal best time. Let's see if he can recreate that and also string the first 2 sectors together as well. Personal best coming in for Sergio Campana. Also Daniel Macia in 88. As Macia has just gone 3rd fastest within 0.4 of a second of Espirito Santo. So 88, the car that is leading the LMP3 standings going into this weekend from Team Virage. Now 3rd fastest. We have 2 Ligiers in the top 3. It's currently Ligier, Duqueine, Ligier, Duqueine. And the Nova class pole sitter. Oh, there was a spin there. It's one of the yellow crested cars there. Didn't quite see who that was. But it's David Drew on the Nova class pole in 5th position overall. I should say fastest in Q3 of the Nova runners, because of course the pole is the average of 3. Just over a minute left on the clock in this session. And again, personal best sector time coming in for Manuel Espirito Santo, but nothing doing in the other 2 sectors, so that's not an improvement overall. See now, less than a minute left on the clock in this Q3 session, and we'll be able to work out the grid order. Yeah, 62 back in pit lane. So just checking to see who was driving that car. There's Mike Simpson for this session. Former Ginetta Works driver, now Ginetta's head of motorsport. Checkered flag is out then for this Q3 session. No one seems to be able to put a dent in Manuel Espirito Santos's benchmark time of a 1:38.249. So it looks like he will top Q3 with the fastest time of the session. See the the conditions not yielding necessarily faster lap times than what we saw in practice. And these are similar conditions to what we expect to see at the end of the race tomorrow, running at a similar time, because the race will finish at around 3:30 local time, and we have just gone 4 o'clock now. So the cars make their way back into pit lane. There's one car that's still making the checkered flag, and that was one of the Novas. But that is qualifying complete. And while Espirito Santo, fastest for the number 26 Breton Racing team. And now the work begins to average out those qualifying times and to see what the grid will actually look like for the 6-hour race. Race tomorrow gets underway at 9:20 local time, finishing at 3:20 local time. And so that is qualifying completed then. We have 3 different teams on top in the end. It was Sergio Campana for BHK Motorsport in Q1, Sasha Lehmann for Team Virage, and now Manuel Espirito Santo for Breton Racing. So a bit of work to do to work out what the grid's actually going to look like. And then, of course, we have to take into account all the driver times and the penalties. The balance penalties that will be taken into account at every pit stop as well, depending on how the driver lineups are formed. But that's all from qualifying. We will see you for the 6-hour European Endurance Prototype Cup race tomorrow from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.